Hello, internets, and welcome to the Amazing Nerdiverse. I'm Jeff Grants.
I'm Frank Spaceman.
You're loving that Frank Spaceman.
That's going to be my new Twitter handle.
You really going to change it to Frank Spaceman?
No, because only you're going to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. This is the podcast where we talk about all things sports. We talk about football,
politics, religion,
baseball,
sports,
basketball, hockey,
golf, bowling,
poker's a sport now.
Long
apparently.
darts.
No, this is the podcast
badminton.
where we talk about. No, I'm done with that. This is the podcast where we talk about all things geeky out there in the Amazing Nerdiverse.
Tennis.
Okay. First up, first thing on the agenda here, we got big deal going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're breaking the curse.
Oh.
We're breaking the curse. We've tried. This is not the first podcast we've tried to do before.
Mm-hmm.
We did one before for our
Doctor
production
Strange.
company. No, not the first episode. I'm talking about first podcast in general. We did a podcast called Credgecast, which is Credge Productions was our production company. We did about 13 episodes of that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we did the Geek Smash podcast when we were both writing for geeksmash.com.
Uh-huh.
That, again, went for 13 episodes. This is the 14th episode of the Amazing Nerdiverse. Officially breaking the curse of being the first time we've ever gotten past 13 episodes.
Is it really? Like, we've never gotten past 13?
We've never gotten past 13. So we've officially broken the curse. Unless, a Death Star decides to destroy this planet. And then,
right now.
Right now. Which, of course, why wouldn't they stop this from happening? Okay. This episode we're going to be talking about, we're going to be doing our spoilers review of Rogue One. But before that, we got a couple of news items we want to hit on that we didn't get to talk about yet. So let's dive into that real quick. First up, we got the first Spider-Man Homecoming trailer.
Good.
That's it.
I like it.
I thought we'd talk a little bit about this because there's a lot of stuff going on in there. There's a lot of things to see, a lot of things to hunt for in there. First of all, as a whole, I feel like this feels more like Spider-Man than any movie we've seen before.
Because he actually looks like a teenager.
He looks like
and
a
not
teenager.
45.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like he's got a,
He doesn't have to go shave every couple hours on set to make sure we don't see the.
He doesn't have a mortgage.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
I don't know the kid. Maybe he does have a mortgage.
Now he does because he's Spider-Man.
Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about it. First of all, let's just talk about the things about Spider-Man and Peter Parker's life that we see in the movie. First thing we see right off the bat is this bank robbery or
right.
like ATM robbery. A bunch of goons with some tech robbing an ATM.
With Avengers masks.
Yeah. I really like that touch and everything. Yeah.
Wait a minute. You guys aren't the real Avengers.
I know. Hulk gives it away. I like that. I like him grabbing the guy's arm and making him punch the other guy.
Yeah.
I like stuff like that. Just right off the bat, it feels like Spider-Man. It feels like him wisecracking and stuff, which is something they didn't really do well in the Tobey Maguire movies.
Right.
I felt like I needed more of that. They kind of got there a little bit in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, but that had plenty of other problems. But this just feels like it.
Yeah.
They set the character up perfectly in Civil War, and now, and the way they set him up in Civil War, bringing him into the universe, that's what I'm excited about, is because this doesn't feel like a standalone Spider-Man movie. The rest of the universe really fits in there and stuff like that.
There's like a clip of him watching the fight.
Oh, I love that. Him in school.
Like he's like, oh, this is boring. I wish I was doing that.
Yeah. And obviously Tony Stark is in there. He looks like he's gonna be a pretty big part of the film.
Yeah.
And like a big part of the film,
he's the principal of his school.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of voiceover from Tony Stark throughout the trailer as well. Just kind of like, or was that in the international trailer? Because I watched that as well.
I think that's in the international trailer.
Yeah, but basically, Tony Stark telling him, all this stuff, and like he wants to prove himself to. I feel like he really wants to prove himself to Tony Stark that he belongs as part of the Avengers and stuff like that. Is there an
Avengers anymore though?
I don't know. I mean, he said in the trailer, "Is like you're not an Avenger or whatever,"
Right.
didn't he? Or is that again in the international trailer?
Well, I mean, it's still kind of implied
Yeah,
what he's
yeah,
talking about.
yeah. But he's not all alone. Tony Stark is helping him out, giving him some new suits and stuff. We've seen the wing suit before. We talked about that last week. That was cool. Another thing, the suit when he's in
He
the
presses
room,
a little button on
press
the
the thing, and it just kind of like easy off. Like I thought that was really cool. Like it explains like how he can get in and out of that tight suit
right.
so quickly when he needs to. That moment with a hug where he's like, "It's not a hug, just get in the door." It's like, wouldn't you feel like he was hugging you? Like, it's one of those cringe where like, oh, like I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Like it's like embarrassing moments.
How many times are you in limos with a rich man that?
No, I can totally relate to that. But the problem is they always want to give me a hug. That's why I'm there. But I make good money. So yeah, we see a lot of him in school. Like that's going to be a big part of this. You know,
Good.
you see, like
reinforcing
you said, him
the
watching,
fact that he's a teenager.
Yes, yeah. You see his best friend Ned Leeds.
Is that in the comics or is that
that's
just
a character from the comics? In
Okay.
the comics, he actually became the second or third Hobgoblin.
Really?
At one point, that character, he's not the same. He's a very different version of the character. But yeah, in the comics, Ned Leeds became like one of the Hobgoblins and stuff. But we see him finding out about it and everything, that he's Spider-Man and like being someone he can kind of talk to about all this. And I think that's cool to have somebody like that in there.
You're not going to be the Hobgoblin, are you?
Wait, are you going to Hobgoblin me?
Yeah.
We see Liz Allen, you know, the love interest. He's like got a crush on her and everything. We see Michelle, which is the character played by Zendaya, who is definitely not Mary Jane. She's the one.
Is that the one at the lunch table?
That's the one at the lunch table.
Okay.
Like, you guys are losers or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the big thing, you know, lots of the Vulture.
Yep.
What did you think of the Vulture, the look of him and everything?
I like it. It looks scary.
Yeah, like I saw that, you know, they released the concept art a while back, and I was like, looks pretty cool. I wonder if they can pull it off. Like they nailed that. Like it looks exactly like it did. I mean, it's not gonna look like it did in the comics, like a character that was invented in the 60s.
You really want like a bird suit?
I mean, yeah, like he's one of the ones that I don't care if they nail it right. Like there's some that I would really like to see a comic accurate Mysterio.
Yeah.
Or
isn't Shocker in the movie though?
Shocker's in the movie. You actually don't see him in the main trailer, I don't believe, but you do see him in the international trailer.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, Bokeem Woodbine plays him. He's not suit, or he's got the suit, but he's not got the, like, there was set pics of him where he has the whole mask and stuff on, and it's like, oh, that's Shocker, straight up. Like it looks like him, like yellow and everything. But you know, Michael Keaton's playing the Vulture, and I think he looks like, from the little bit we see of actual Michael Keaton in this, he looks pretty scary.
Yeah,
as like he looks like he's gonna be a pretty big threat, and like he looks like he's bringing together the, you know, all the criminal element of Queens and New York and everything, and you know, unifying them under the thing of like, you know, there's all these superheroes out there and stuff now. We need to step up our game. He has that line like, "World's changing, boys. It's time we did too." And he's like, maybe he might be the one that's like outfitting all these like goons with like some high tech. Like you see some like the crazy weapons and stuff that they're using even at the beginning in the bank robbery scene. You see our first look at Donald Glover is in there with one of those armed baddies. You get this quick shot of him with the guy shooting one of the laser gun things. We're still not sure what character Donald Glover's playing. I know who I'm hoping for, and like, in the Ultimate comics, in the Ultimate Spider-Man universe, you know, there was the second Spider-Man, the Miles Morales Spider-Man. In that continuity, in that universe, he had an uncle named Hobie Brown, who became the Ultimate Universe version of the Prowler, who was like, I think he was a thief turned hero at some point. So I would really like to see him play that character, because like, you know, we all know that Miles Morales was created because of he wanted to play Spider-Man, and when they were casting the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man movies, but he was really campaigning to play that, and they didn't do it, and they cast a white guy, of course. So in honor of that, I think it was Brian Michael Bendis, that he created the Miles Morales character for because of that.
Right.
And so he's a little too old to play Miles Morales, especially because Miles is supposed to be younger than Peter.
Yeah.
But he could be his uncle.
Well,
and that will be a nice homage to that.
He's like, oh, good. I'm too old now to play the...
Yeah, it's a bummer. Like, I would have, like, at the time, I was like, I don't know, it'd be weird, but if anyone could pull it off, like, I thought I would have really liked to have seen him.
Yeah, I'm sure there's an unknown actor out there that looks...
Oh, yeah, like, if they were to cast Miles eventually.
All they have to do is just find someone else.
Yeah, no, for sure, yeah. That'll be cool if they get to that at some point in the Marvel universe.
Washington.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's not too old. So what else we got here? You know, we only get one glimpse of Aunt May in the trailer. Like, I figured there'd be a little more, especially as she's one of the only other characters in this movie that we've met so far.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we get one shot of her when he's talking about like all the people you love and stuff like that. And then, you know, at the end, there's that great hero shot. You know, you always have to have one of those. Like, it's
where
very reminiscent.
Yeah, whatever that is together.
That, like, you know, giant ship together and everything.
Yeah, I guess it is a ship.
Yeah, but like, you know, it's very reminiscent of like the scene in Spider-Man 2 where he's like stopping the train and everything. I thought that was a nice little like kind of callback, kind of homage, not really, but like, you know, that's a Spider-Man move. Like that's the hero shot there.
Stand in front of something and hold it together with webs.
Yeah. And then you got that great shot, the final shot of the trailer with Spider-Man and Iron Man swinging.
That's just one of those things it's just nice to see in a movie.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's the end of the movie.
The last shot of the movie?
I think that might be.
You think?
Yeah, because, I mean, think about it. He goes on this big adventure thing, and then...
He's kind of got to stand alone, like...
The two of them are talking, and then they zip off to go take care of something else.
Yeah.
Maybe Infinity War.
Yeah, that's not a bad call. That might be...
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that might be what they do with it. Okay, yeah, so, you know, in a year that we don't have an Avengers movie coming out next year, this is definitely the one I'm looking most forward to.
When's Thor coming out?
Later next year, but I'm still looking...
So next year we're going to have Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be a packed year full of awesome.
Good.
I think this is also coming out next year. We also got a trailer for...
John Wick 2.
Yeah, that one is. But we also got that trailer for War for the Planet of the Apes. Are you a fan of those movies?
I haven't watched any of them.
Really?
Right,
You haven't seen Rise or Dawn of the Planet?
No.
They're both great. I love these movies. Like, they did a amazing job, especially after a horrible reboot that Tim Burton did.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, this was a really great, like, revamping of the series and doing it in a new and unique way. And Andy Serkis is Caesar in these movies, and he is just fantastic.
You know what would be really funny? If in the Flash movie they were doing Gorilla Grodd.
Yeah.
And, like, but they had a trailer for that. Because tonight when we went to see Rogue One, there was a trailer for King Kong and a trailer for Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
And it'd be funny just to have, like, Gorilla Grodd just show up.
Apes are taking over the cinemas. But, I mean, like, I even love the original Planet of the Apes and everything. Like, that series of movies. I like all the movies. And not 2 through 5 or whatever is not as good. There were, like, 5 movies from the original one on. Then there was the reboot or the remake that Tim Burton did with Mark Wahlberg, and then this will be the 3rd of this one. So there are 9 Planet of the Apes
9 monkey movies,
and I love just about all of them. Like,
yeah,
they're even the old ones. Like, some of them, they're kind of hit or miss, but they're still kind of enjoyable, like fun. But I love this series, and this movie looks pretty good. There's a lot of cool stuff on display. You know, like all out, like straight up war. Like,
is this a prequel to Kong Skull Island?
Yeah. No, this is like when, like, this is years after the apes and started taking over and stuff. So the humans are dwindling at this point. Like, this is like their last stand kind of thing.
Gotcha.
And you know, there's lots of cool shots in there, like apes on horses.
Why don't they just be nice to the monkeys?
Apes with guns, apes with bows. I love that shit. What?
Why don't they just be nice to the monkeys?
Quit asking questions if you haven't seen the movie.
Are they nice to the monkeys?
No, that's the whole point.
But why?
Because they're idiots. Because they're humans.
Quit poking the monkey and it'll leave you alone.
This is one of those great movies where the humans are the assholes.
Well, yeah, but if you just leave the goddamn monkey alone, they won't rise up.
Yeah, well, then we wouldn't have 9 movies. So, yeah, that's the whole point. The humans are assholes, and Woody Harrelson is like the lead asshole in this one. But I love Woody Harrelson. He looks like a great villain. The one thing in this trailer that bugged me, I think it was all good up until that, it will be a planet of apes like line. I hated that line. It was just so on the nose and just like, this is a war for the planet of the apes. There was the rise of the Planet of the Apes, and then there was the dawn of Planet of the Apes. But I know dawn sounds like it should come before a rise, but that's the way I said it, so that's the order we're sticking with. But this is the war for the Planet of the Apes.
Do you remember that scene in Batman v Superman where Batman was like, "Do you bleed?" And Superman goes, "Nothing."
Yeah.
And then Batman says, "Well, it's gonna be Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice."
Yeah, that was see. I liked it when they did that in that movie. All right, moving on. Speaking of, you were talking about King Kong. This is
Monkey Man.
Tangentially related because they're part of they're building up to a shared universe. Godzilla. They announced the title for two new awesome, crazy, big monster movies.
So if those movies are going to be connected,
yeah,
the characters in this movie just simply cannot not mention that there was a giant Godzilla creature, right?
I think
they have
Kong,
to talk about it.
Kong looks like it's more of a period piece, so it looks like it's set earlier in the timeline.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's like maybe 70s, 80s, something like. I don't know for sure, but I mean, yeah. Yeah, that would explain why they're not. Remember when that giant ass?
Right,
This is like we should have them fight.
Yeah, let's have one
do that.
fight with the other.
But anyway, the
Jaws shows
sequel to Godzilla, the Gareth Edwards version, is going to be called Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is a classic title of the old Japanese versions of it. So they're kind of bringing back that title and stuff.
Wait,
and then
which one's coming next? Godzilla?
No, there was Godzilla was the first one that came out a couple years ago. Then the next one is Kong Skull Island, which comes out in March. And then there's going to be Godzilla 2, which is called Godzilla King of the Monsters. And then
King
they're
of
doing
the monster then, because there's only one other one.
No, there's giant monsters and stuff and other
but
giant monsters. Yeah, but that's because he's the king. He kills all monsters. But yeah, and then there's going to be Godzilla versus King Kong.
So I thought Godzilla was a girl.
I can't wait for those. I don't know.
Or is that the Matthew Broderick one?
Probably.
Or they made him a lady.
Yeah, or they made him like just giving birth.
So is he a boy
secretly. Now? I guess. I didn't check. All right. Moving on.
A shot of like the streets below and people just looking. Oh,
that thing is huge. And that's a big lizard too. All right. David Ayer.
Smacking into buildings.
David Ayer, as we know, directed Suicide Squad.
Uh-huh.
He's going to return to the DC universe for Gotham City Sirens, which is now the official title of the Harley Quinn spinoff movie.
Uh-huh.
And the comic book series Gotham City Sirens, and David Ayer even posted a picture of these three. It seems to be what they're going for in the movie as well. But in the comics, Gotham City Sirens was Harley Quinn, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy.
Uh-huh.
Like the three, big, Gotham female villains and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they're making a movie of this. This is what they were talking about. I don't know if Birds of Prey are still involved or what. But right now they're saying that the rumor is that Megan Fox is up for Poison Ivy.
Ugh.
Which physically I can see that. I can see them painting her green, which I want them to do the green skin Poison Ivy and the red hair, but she does not have the acting chops to do it, I don't think.
No.
The closest she's come is, did you ever see that movie Jennifer's Body?
No.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but like she kind of had a similar like predatorial like like sexual predatorial kind of vibe in it and stuff, and that's something they could kind of do with Poison Ivy, but I'm really hoping that's not the case. Like they don't cast her. There was also Sienna Miller, who's going to be in Live by Night, which is Ben Affleck's next movie that he directed. It's coming out later this month. Yeah, he is. She's been saying lately that she wants to play Catwoman in those movies. She said she's confirmed that she said that Catwoman's not in Ben Affleck's the Batman script, but she wants to write her in because she really wants to play Catwoman. I don't know, but those two characters look like they're going to be in this movie, and I'm excited for that. Like I said, I kind of would like to see a Sirens versus Birds of Prey kind of thing in there.
Is Halle Berry going to be Catwoman?
I really hope so.
Are they
That
gonna
would
carry
be
on
awesome.
that continuity?
Continuity. What?
They lost continuity within their own movie.
Yeah. All right. It sounds like there's a new writer attached to this though. Remember a couple weeks ago we talked about Christina Hodson, who she wrote that movie Shut In, which didn't do well. It like came out like right as that was announced and stuff. And then she's also writing a Bumblebee spinoff, which I don't know how that's gonna happen because
Bumblebee, like the Transformer.
Yeah.
God, who cares?
And it looked like he got like Optimus Prime
Looks like he got
killed
got.
his ass. It looks like he got got.
Spoiler alert! There's
in
a
the trailer.
Transformers trailer, and it looks like all the other ones.
Yep.
Skip it.
But anyway, there's a new writer, Geneva Robertson Dworet, who wrote the Tomb Raider remake that's coming out, and the script for Sherlock Holmes 3, which is in development, has been for a little
good.
while.
I like that movie.
Yeah,
Those movies.
so she wrote those. It looks like she's writing this Gotham City Sirens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if maybe Christina Hodson is writing. Maybe there is still a separate Birds of Prey movie. I don't know. I'd kind of like to just see, see them go together. Because what are the Sirens going to be fighting? What are they going to like? I'd like to see heroes versus villains in this movie and do it like that.
The last time they did just a whole bunch of villains, it was a little one-sided. It was a little boring for me.
Yeah. You got to have because right now in the comics they're doing Suicide Squad versus Justice League. That's how you do it.
Right.
So you have heroes to fight the villains.
See, when I heard about Suicide Squad and Batman's in it, and he's kind of like, you see him from the point of view of the villains, I was like, oh, that's a great idea. They didn't do that.
Yeah, no, you just saw him for the one scene he was in.
Is that the point of view you meant? The one time?
A strict Suicide Squad sequel is still in development, and so is the rumored Deadshot spinoff. Which I'd like to see more of Deadshot. I don't know. I'd like to see him as part of the Batman.
Yeah.
Being part of that, movie with
a spinoff of just him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do they know how to do this?
No.
Do I need to step in?
I don't think they do. Speaking of DC, Patrick Wilson, who played Night Owl in The Watchmen, he's also in the Conjuring and Insidious movies. He has been cast as Ocean Master in the Aquaman movie. Which is Ocean Master is Aquaman's half brother, Orm, who Hollywood Reporter broke this story and they were saying he's Orm Curry. He's Aquaman's half brother, but that would mean he was his human half brother. I'm not quite sure. I don't completely know. I do know that in the comics and in Young Justice and everything, Ocean Master, I thought he was an Atlantean,
right?
But I don't know. But yeah, so it looks like he might be the villain in this movie, or maybe they're gonna do more of a Loki kind of thing. And what I would do is have him be part of the cast and do Black Manta as the villain, because there's no better Aquaman villain to do than Black Manta. And if they don't do that one first, I don't know what the hell they're doing. But then again, doing stuff logically is not Warner Brothers.
No, it's just a mess.
Yeah. But anyway, they got Ocean Master now.
Maybe the Batman movie will be really good.
Yeah, well, let's talk about something that is good.
Maybe they'll spin off an Alfred spin-off.
Yeah. It's like when they start spinning off all these characters, it just reeks of desperation.
It's not as special.
No, yeah.
When you do it for everyone.
Yeah. And it's just
right.
remember we actually talked about this on the last podcast. Not episode. I mean, the podcast we did a couple years ago. Remember there was rumors that they were trying to do an Aunt May spinoff?
Yeah, I do.
This is what that feels like with all the announced things.
What would that movie have even been?
I don't know, but
Who gives a shit?
It'll forever live in my heart.
Was she making cookies and then sitting at the couch worrying where Peter is?
Yeah.
Great movie.
That's what it would have to be if they were trying to do a real Aunt May movie where they just create some crazy Aunt May spy thriller thing. Let's talk about something that's awesome, that is good, that does make me happy.
Transformers.
Yeah, of course. No. Let's talk about Rogue One.
Okay.
We just saw it tonight, Thursday night. It's good.
Good.
No, yeah, let's talk about it. This is going to be our spoiler review of it. If you want to hear a review without spoilers, we did a video Should already be up on the YouTube. On the YouTubes. But right now, let's talk about it with full spoilers so we can really go into it.
Everybody dies.
I mean,
Darth Vader's in it.
We say that all the time. This time it's true.
Princess Leia's in it.
Yeah.
C-3PO, R2-D2
let's not just shove all the spoilers up front. let's talk about it.
Michael Rooker's in it.
No, he's not. Okay, so from the very beginning, this felt like a different Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's the first standalone we've ever seen. The first one that's not officially part of the saga, is not episode 3.5 or anything.
Your precious Crawl isn't on it.
Yeah. It was that was kind of weird for me, man. Like it was jarring, I felt.
Really?
Yeah, I do. Like I don't mind that they didn't start with it, but
you wanted them to end with it?
I wanted them to. I think if any movie needed to have a crawl, this one did. Because there's still people going in the movies that don't realize that this is not episode 8. Like, if you up front, explain what's going on in the crawl, like it would get everybody in the theater on board at once. There's history. Like there was
I don't know. There'd be people in the movie like just leaning over to their friends, going, "What's happening? Why is this?" Like when they're reading it, like what does all that say? That's what people would say.
That's what you do because you don't read.
Well. I can't.
I think most people
want to.
I think most people who would see the movie would, that would be beneficial because there's some backstory there between some of the characters like Galen Erso and Orson Krennic, and there's a whole novel worth of backstory. There was Star Wars Catalyst came out last month, and it's the prequel tie-in book to Rogue One, and I don't think you have to read that book to understand the movie. Obviously, but I think it really helps.
Yeah.
Like, it really helps, like, not like helps, but like, it makes it more enjoyable. It made it more enjoyable for me, like, understanding the history of those characters so that when that opening scene starts where you see, Galen and his daughter and everything, and he calls her Stardust, and I'm just like, I wanted to, like, tear up right then, just him, like, when he knows they have to run so he can kind of turn himself over and buy them time to get away and everything. But yeah, I think the not having an open crawl would have been okay if it didn't start the same way with like a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Like that whole thing, like naturally, like it was really jarring not to just immediately hear the Star Wars fanfare and because like when we were in the theater, there was a guy a couple rows ahead of us and I saw him. He like. When that would normally kick in, he went like this, like a big, like kind of like an orchestral, like he was cueing the fanfare and it didn't happen, and he was like, I just saw him like, oh, like he looked bummed out.
That seemed to cheer you
up. Bummed
me
out.
His disappointment seemed to bring you joy.
Well, fuck that guy for going to the movies and being in public. I feel like the movie. It was really fast-paced at first. Like, it was jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
You had a great, like, kind of lengthy scene at the beginning just to kind of to feel in there. And that was a great scene. And then you jump ahead forward time. Jen's in a cell. Then we cut over here. And it was really jumpy at first, I thought. And then it kind of went into, like, a little bit of a lull in the middle point of the film. And you were talking about that as well.
Yeah, it just felt overly complicated and just kind of a little boring.
Yeah, and I think the parts you were referring to was like, you were confusing who's on what side.
Yeah, because everyone's like the rebel side is kind of like arguing within itself.
Yeah,
but it wasn't clear on like.
Yeah, well, yeah, Saw Gerrera played Forrest Whitaker's character, who was from the Clone Wars, Wars animated. He was in a 4-episode arc of that, so it was really cool. That's the first time we've seen a character who debuted in a animated series being brought to live action. That was really cool that they did that for this movie.
Do you think you watched the cartoon?
I mean, it was only 4 episodes.
So he probably could have watched it.
Yeah.
Was the character like the cartoon at all?
He was a lot younger, but I felt like it was a good, just aged up version of that character.
The little breathing apparatus.
I mean, that was all new. The metal legs, all that stuff was new. So
okay.
Yeah.
Any other resemblance or?
I mean, yeah, it looks like an older version of that character. I thought the casting was really great on that. Speaking of I thought the casting all around was great in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, Felicity Jones was great as Jen. You know, Mads Mikkelsen, cast that guy in everything. I'm a huge fan of his.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Mendelsohn was awesome as Orson Krennic. He was a great Imperial villain, like that classic Imperial officer kind of villain. Donnie Yen as Chirrut Imwe. You know, this is like I mentioned it in I don't know if it's going to end up in the video review or whatever, but you know, in The Force Awakens, they cast all these guys from the raid, these badass like martial artists and stunt guys and stuff. They cast them in The Force Awakens and then completely wasted them in a scene that didn't require them to kick some ass.
Which scene?
They were all the remember when Han Solo first gets back to the Millennium Falcon, he pulls it into his other ship and everything. And then they're in that ship, and then these other, like the Guavian gang and the Conja Club, all those guys show up, and like Han is in the middle of all of them, and all those crazy giant Rathtar aliens and stuff attack. All the Asian guys in the one gang are from the raid, but they completely wasted them in that. They did not waste Donnie Yen, who is also a great martial arts performer and stuff. So, and he actually got to kick some ass in this movie. He was mowing down stormtroopers left and right. He was whooping ass. So I thought that was good. And just like overall, the casting was great. Even actors playing characters we've seen before and we know, like the actress playing Mon Mothma was great.
Which one is that?
She was the you don't know who Mon Mothma is? She was she was in Return of the Jedi. She's like the leader of like the Republic of the New Republic and everything. And she's a big part of the rebellion and everything in this movie. We had some other characters from other movies pop in. Bail Organa is like the only character I think that was only in the prequels that wasn't in the original trilogy to show up. He reprised his role, and that was great. It was nice seeing him. It was a bummer when he was leaving. He's like, I got to get back to Alderaan to
Alderaan places.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, I got to get back there and let them know that this is not going to end well or whatever.
Oh, what's that light?
Yeah. Oh, what's that up there? Speaking of, that it was really cool seeing like what that looks like from the point of view of the planet.
I thought it would be faster though.
Yeah.
They seem to have a lot of time.
They had a lot of time to get out of there, but I was thinking maybe it was a different weapon or something, or maybe they weren't trying to blow the planet up.
I guess.
Like I think they were just trying to blow up the city, the city of Jeddah. I think they were trying to blow it up and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, what are some things you want to hit on about this movie that you enjoyed?
I always like a ragtag group type of movie, so that part I liked. I liked it was a lot funnier than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
because like the trailers make it seem like the whole thing is going to be very serious
and bleak and everything.
Yeah,
and it is a little bit in places, but they did find ways of injecting humor in there. And the main source of the humor and all that is K2SO,
Mr. Robot Man.
Yeah, it was played by Alan Tudyk, who was fantastic. Like he was such a standout character. Everyone's gonna come out of this movie going, "That's the guy. That's my guy." And he was a Imperial droid that they reprogrammed and everything.
I was sad when he died.
Yeah, he was the first major one to go down.
Was he the first?
He was the first of the team, the Rogue One team. Like, I mean, people are dying all throughout this movie.
Right.
You have, right at the beginning, you have Jen's mother, Lyra.
Yeah.
Her father dies like about midway through the movie. Saw dies before even that. Like when his planet, he goes down with the ship. Like he stays back on the planet and everything. And then just the entire team was wiped out.
Yeah.
One by one, you're seeing getting picked up. Yeah, I expected that too. But it was still hard seeing some of these characters that and then I think they did a good job of creating characters that are only going to exist in this 2 hours of this movie. Like, they didn't have to build up characters that are going to, keep holding up all the movies and everything. They did a great job of like making all these different cool characters that fit in this one universe. You got the blind samurai type guy. You got the funny droid who's a little bit too hard-edged and stuff. He's still got a little bit of that Empire in him, the evil part of him and everything.
I guess like a difficult part of doing the movie would be like you already know that they succeed in their goal, their overall goal. But then, like, where's the interesting part in it? And you
it's
know
the
what I mean?
fact that you don't know if
Right,
they're
whether
gonna
or not
make
they
it.
make it out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and keep you hoping. I mean, I thought maybe one or two of them might make it.
Yeah. Nope.
No, nope. They all go down with a ship.
Yep.
What else we got in there? The it didn't work, but the intention was good in there. But the digital effects for some of the characters.
Yeah, I didn't like it. It just
Tarkin
stood out too much for me.
Yeah, Tarkin, Grand Moff Tarkin. You know, the actor, of course, passed away, and you know, but the character needed to be in this story. So like, just like when you're, you know, picking up a novel that's set at a certain period of the Star Wars universe, there's certain characters that belong in that period that would make no sense if they didn't appear there.
Yeah.
With this movie ending seconds before A New Hope, like, you have to have Leia in there at the end. But, you know, Carrie Fisher doesn't look like she did 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So they had to do it digitally and stuff.
That one looked good, though.
That one looked okay. I think it's in the eyes, man. The eyes, there was some weird, like, kind of...
I think because there was so much of him.
Yeah, there was a lot of Tarkin in the movie.
Like, because with Leia, there was just that one quick thing, so, like...
Yeah.
Nothing really stood out as being like, oh, that's definitely CGI.
Yeah.
I mean, you already knew, but, like... You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, with the other guy, if they would have just, like... hit his face, not had so much of him.
Yeah. It was because, like, it's a bummer, because that dude had a very distinct face.
Yeah.
Like, he had a very distinct look, so it's not easy to just recast him and have someone else
I thought
play
they could have. I mean,
they could have, yeah. And we just, like, you know, just like they recast Han Solo, and they're going to be doing all this stuff, which I was surprised. I heard rumors that we would be seeing a Han Solo cameo in this movie, and I'm kind of glad we didn't.
Yeah.
But the cameos and appearances we did see, I felt they all were deserved. They all were needed.
Yeah.
Like, Tarkin is a big part of this period of the Empire. And so it totally made sense to have him in there. He is the one in charge of the Death Star when we see it in A New Hope. So he kind of had to be in there. And it was unfortunate that it didn't quite look great. But, I mean, I applaud the effort. I applaud that they, you know, they tried, and that's what they, you know... They had to do it that way. There's no other way to do it other than if they would have cast somebody and then you'd been like, who is that guy?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we were saying that, like, the Marvel movies do it better, though. Like, that's the thing, like...
Did they just have more money?
More money than Star Wars? Like,
well,
it's all Disney.
Yeah, I guess.
They all got money. I don't know what's the factor and what made it... I mean, I think it's because in when they've done this sort of thing in the Marvel movies, they had the actor.
Yeah.
When they did it in Ant-Man, when we saw a younger version of Hank Pym, they had the actor, you know, they had Michael Douglas there to play the character, so they really just had to age him down. And the same thing in Civil War with Robert Downey Jr. in that one scene, and also benefited that scene that it's not supposed to be real. In Civil War, when he's doing that thing, it's supposed to be a visually thing. It, like, kind of...
I guess that makes
even
sense.
if it doesn't quite look right, it kind of works. So, yeah, those characters, you know... Tarkin and Leia, it was, like you said, Leia was a little better because it was only like the one shot.
Yeah, it was that quick shot and like...
Yeah. And it was exactly the way the movie needed to end.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
Get those in Leia's hands and yeah, that's the natural ending of that.
I would have liked more of the I heard that they did some reshoots, and I'm wondering if it's that scene where Darth Vader's just tearing through a bunch of... Do you know what I mean? I feel like maybe they thought...
That scene was a highlight for me.
Yeah.
Because it was a little shorter than I would have liked. I would have liked to see more of it, but it was
more
awesome.
Things like that in it?
Yeah, yeah. Because, I mean, they do not skimp on, like, the war part of Star Wars.
Right.
It feels like war. And they did a better job of that in this movie than they've ever done in the Star Wars movies, I think. And making it feel like this is a galaxy at war with itself.
Right.
And
everyone's arguing.
Yeah, and there was a great like you know, on the planet, everything there was, like, you know, ships flying around on planet, like above, like shooting down. You got the Bestin, the space monkey guy shooting, just like you know, shooting at stuff, and
space monkey. You
had the ACTs and stuff, the walkers and everything. It's just so many, like, taking stuff that we just classic images and stuff that we know from the Star Wars universe and kind of turning it and showing us something we haven't seen before.
Like a beach.
Like a beach planet. Scarif.
Yeah.
That scene with Darth Vader was a highlight for me because we've, in all the live action movies we've seen so far, we've never seen Vader do that before. We've never seen him a truly, like, you know, he's
Fight
always
a bunch
been,
of dudes.
Yeah, he's always been a ominous like presence, and like he's a scary presence, but we've never seen why he's so scary.
Yeah.
And in this movie, we see like the terror of like these guys lined up in this hallway. You got the one guy with like the drive, the floppy disk with the with the Death Star planes on it, trying to get through.
You know what I noticed?
Huh?
That like they can't give us like a date. Do you know what I mean? Like when they do, like when they're showing like, okay, what planet is like Scarif, they can't say like 1970 to give us the time period. I just realized that they're never able to give us like a...
Yeah, well, this is the first time, I mean? Yeah. This is the first movie where we've ever had those down at the bottoms, those lower thirds that tell you where you're at. Which
they didn't have those in the prequels? I thought they did.
I don't think so.
I feel like they did. Maybe, I don't know.
It kind of stuck out. But I was like, it was kind of necessary in this movie where at the beginning of the movie, like I said, they were jumping all over the place. So you kind of needed to establish where all these places were so you know what's going on and where you're at.
What if it just said like at the bottom, like this relates to episode 4?
Yeah, like kind of like that was one of the things I was thinking about. Yeah, the crawl would help explain it, but still, like for those that don't quite get, like, these are the rebels that, you know, are stealing the plans for the, like...
That's an awfully long sentence.
Yeah, like, for people that don't understand that, like, you would have to be like, it's like, Rogue One, a Star Wars story, parentheses, set before episode 4. Like...
But after episode 3.
For people that are that dumb that don't get it and stuff, how do you really explain it to them and everything?
Listen, stupid.
Which could have been done better in trailers, I think.
Yeah.
But,
well, you don't want to... I don't know. I guess you already kind of know what the plot and the overall outcome.
Yeah, we do, but people that don't know what this movie is don't like going in who still think that, you know, this
Well, that's why they need to write a Star Wars movie.
Yeah. A Star Wars story.
I didn't even say story?
Yeah, it's a Star Wars story.
Oh, I thought, what would you have rather, like, just Star Wars, Rogue One?
Yeah, but then again, that's why it doesn't make it... Like, I feel like all the things they tried to do in this movie to make it different and stick out is what kind of bugged me.
Really?
Like, the title always bugged me. The not having the crawl, the title of the movie, the way it was done, like, it looked... The title card, when it came up, Rogue One, I didn't like how it looked.
Yeah?
Yeah, and just the little things they did to make it stand apart and everything. For instance, like John Williams didn't do the music in this one.
Yeah, you could tell.
You could tell he didn't do it.
It was like close, but not.
Yeah, at first it was.
You know what it sounded like? It
What?
sounded like they didn't have the rights to the regular. You know what I mean? So they did like
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's Michael Giacchino did it, and he's a fantastic composer. But
is he the blind guy?
No, I think you're thinking of Beethoven.
No, in the movie.
Oh no, that's Chirrut Imwe.
Oh, they sound similar.
You're terrible with names.
Well, when they're Cheerio Highway, whatever his name is.
But yeah, the music. You're right. It did sound like
it sounded like they didn't have the rights to the regular Star Wars stuff, so they're like, just make something close.
Yeah, that's fun. But he's a great composer. Like he does most of the Pixar movies. He's won an Oscar. Like I think he won an Oscar for Up. And like he does a really good job with this stuff, but it just, I mean, he's a great composer, but John Williams is the man. He's a legend.
Yeah.
He's done
all the movies.
I mean, you can name like Jaws, Star Wars, Indiana Jones,
Star Wars 2.
Yeah, Star Wars 3, the fourth one,
The Fish Awakens,
Jurassic Park.
No, they didn't do Batman. Superman.
Danny Elfman did Batman. Yeah, Superman. That's the one I was trying to remember. Superman. Yeah, all these iconic film scores. 9 out of 10 times, if you're thinking iconic film scores, he's the guy. And So Michael G is not quite living up to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like this asshole's not as good as Michael Jordan or whatever.
Right.
Like, told you we was gonna talk sports. I called it. We were gonna talk sports.
Well, he's no Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah. See, we're doing it. It's finally the podcast I always wanted it to be.
The two most well-known names.
Yeah.
Boy, those are deep cuts.
Yep. Well, we're sports heads.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sports heads, huh?
Yeah.
Is that what it's?
We're sports heads. So we know these deep cuts.
Sports ball.
Sports ball, I love it. Yeah, hit it out of the hoop. Yeah, so let me think of some of the tie-ins to the book Catalyst. Like, the Catalyst, it was mostly about Orson Krennic
Mm-hmm.
and Galen Erso. And, like, how they started off as friends, and, Galen Erso was, like, a genius, like, expert on kyber crystals. Kyber crystals, a giant kyber crystal is what used to
Make
power
the lightsaber go.
Yeah, that's the crystals they use in the lightsabers to make them go, as you say, and it's also what powers the weapon of the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the book, which I highly recommend, like, you don't need to read the book,
Right.
but it really helps. Like, it makes it just like you'll appreciate the movie even more. So if you're at all interested in reading any of the books, I think you should check that out.
Okay.
You're not going to. I know you don't read.
Nope.
But
I don't know how.
Yeah.
Unless it's got pictures.
Nope.
No pictures?
Nope.
I'm out.
The audiobooks are great because they've got like music and sound effects and everything. That's really cool.
So a movie.
It's kind of like a movie with no pictures.
Is it?
And one guy playing every character. And depending on how good that guy is the win-loss on that one.
Yeah.
Sports. Again, I'm talking sports.
Talking sports with Jeff.
That's my spin-off podcast, and I'm gonna be starting soon.
Brett Favre.
That's one. Joe Namath.
Whoa.
Joe Montana. Babe Ruth. We're talking about we're talking about the greats here.
How many athletes can you name?
Chipper Jones. Smoltz. Come on, let's go Smoltz.
All right, Smoltzy. Tiger Woods.
Yeah, he's one.
Who else? Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, Scottie Pippen. Dennis Rodman.
That'll be. You know what? That'll be a fun game we play next time.
Okay.
Who can name more sports athletes?
Yeah, we'll just go back and forth, like name one, and then until one of us can't.
Okay, Hanks, but no Hanks.
Yeah, Hanks, but no Hanks.
I have another segment on that. It's like quotes. Like, did he say this or did he? You know what I mean?
Awesome. Yeah. So you got multiple layers to this game.
I'm working on it.
Awesome.
It'll be like a round 1, round 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Get a whole game going. All right.
Hanks, but no Hanks.
So yeah, the history of these characters was so interesting and everything that I thought from the book that when I saw it in the movie, that opening scene was really impactful to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know, like, because the book pretty much ends with them, the family leaving with Saw.
Mm-hmm.
Saw takes them away, and like they're on the run, and they're hiding from the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie picks up with the Empire finding them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like a natural transition from just finishing the book to going into this movie, and then this movie ends exactly where the A New Hope picks up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great, like, streamlined story there that I really appreciated. There's little things like he calls her like the first time he called her Stardust in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, like, because that's what he called her as a child. Like, when he first saw her, not he was there when she was born, but he was imprisoned
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. So when he got out of prison, he was holding her and was looking down at her eyes, and it's like stardust in her
Mm-hmm.
eyes, like the flecks of like color and stuff
Mm-hmm.
in her eyes and everything. I thought that was really cool. They established that and everything, and like they established that as that being an important thing in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So when they come back around, when they're looking for the plans, and she's like trying to figure out the code name.
Right.
It's a Stardust.
I was like, what would it be called? Like, before they said, I was like, it's got to be something I'll recognize.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have bothered saying something.
Yeah.
I was like, what would it be? And then she said it. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, of course it's Stardust.
It's called Rogue One. How would he know?
Yeah. Which Galen is a smart character. Like, the rebels were kind of out to get him. Like, Cassian's like he was there to kill
Mm-hmm.
Galen.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was actually going up, like in the scene where they finally find Galen and it's like raining. It was a really cool atmospheric like set and everything. You know, they were climbing up on there and he was gonna shoot him, like he was ready to, and he backed out. But this is after they got that Jen saw the hollow where he was talking about you know, there is he basically flat out said, like, people always wonder why would the Empire put the weakness right there on the Death Star for just hit that once and it blows up. This explains that.
Did they have that idea before or after?
This seems like them explaining it in retrospect and everything, but it's cool. It makes it makes A New Hope even better. Which, like, a movie that iconic and great and that everyone loves, this movie makes that even better, which is what's so cool about Rogue One.
It's basically a movie to explain that one little spot.
Oh, okay.
That's all it does.
I mean, it's a hell of a movie. It works. So yeah, like, he was forced into all this, and not everyone realizes that. You know, the rebels don't really realize that, but he was smart about it. He turned himself over and did that because he knew that they were going to do it without him either way, but them doing it with him, you know, he managed to work in that failsafe, that you know, that detonation thing to destroy it. So he is really the hero of all of this.
Yeah.
Because if he wouldn't have built that into the designs of the Death Star, you know, there'd still be a Death Star like in Force Awakens and stuff, like the same one, not the third one or whatever they get to.
So now they got to explain away the second time they blow it up.
Not really.
Why not?
You're saying you want to see that movie now?
Yeah.
Like Rogue 2 is you know, Frank Spaceman going off to
awesome.
Going off to, you know, him lead.
Well, how did they blow it up the second time? I can't remember.
Same way.
So
it was not in the trench. It was inside the thing. So I guess like because Lando had to fly the Falcon inside the Death, like actually interior of the Death Star and everything.
But there wasn't like that.
But they had to turn off the shields and stuff on Endor. So we were talking about the battles on the planet and everything, the air battles, and then in the space battles were awesome.
Yeah.
These were some, like, this probably my favorite of all the space battles. I mean, they got pretty good in the prequels, like in episode 3 or whatever. There's this crazy space battle going on at the beginning of that one. I think this is better than all of them. Like, it was so cool. And I've been playing, like, you know, even amping up my anticipation even more. I've been playing Star Wars Battlefront. They released the Scarif DLC.
Scarif?
So, yeah, I know.
Nice.
So that got you interested. Scarif. They released the Scarif DLC where, you know, you can do the space battles and stuff, and you fly, and your goal is to try to get through that shield, the hole in the shield.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Like, I knew about that having played the game before I saw it in the movie, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, how they did that, and just, it was so much fun, like, playing, like, a new level, like, running through the water and the trees and stuff like that. And Krennic is a new character now. Like, when you play, like, as one of the heroes, you can play as Krennic with 2 of his Death Troopers and stuff.
Yeah. Which
I thought there would be a bigger presence in the movie, the Death Troopers, but they were really like his personal guard.
What, the red ones?
No, the black ones with the all black ones and stuff that were like kind of like flanking him at the first scene. And then like you didn't see him again through that whole battle until he's like, my guard with me, like 2 men with me, like all that stuff. There's so much to talk about in the movie. Like, I'm just trying to think of everything. I didn't, you know, we just saw the movie, so I didn't have time to really make notes. Gareth Edwards directed the film. He did an excellent job. Like he directed Godzilla, the 2013, 14, whatever Godzilla, which I really liked. I know you said you weren't as big a fan of it, but I love that movie.
I mean, they spent a lot of time talking about whether or not they're going to shoot a missile.
All right.
Like 45 minutes was like, do we just shoot it?
You mean at the monsters?
Just, I wonder if we could figure this out. Shoot the monster? Yeah, shoot the monster.
But Godzilla's the good monster.
Oh, blow it up anyway.
All right, anyway.
Stop talking about it and shoot it.
This isn't Godzilla.
Shoot the giant lizard.
All right. He's the good guy, but whatever.
Who cares? Blow it up.
All right.
Blow up the lizard and then go blow up the monkey.
on Skull Island.
Yeah, nuke them both,
All right.
and then shoot Jaws.
All right. Shit.
Sick of this shit.
Oh, one thing I wanted to point out. We had already talked about this before on another podcast, I think, but this was kind of tipped off in the TV spots, which I'm kind of glad for because I don't know if I would have caught it if I was just watching the movie and I hadn't seen it before. But there's that shot where all the ships are arriving at Scarif in space, and you see the ghost from Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool. Wasn't expecting it, but I was kind of hoping, in the scene where all they're fighting in space and you're seeing all the different people and you see Red Leader and like.
I didn't see Porkins.
No, I was kind of expecting Porkins and stuff. I was also not wanting to see the characters from Rebels. Like, although that would have been cool, like to just cut to inside of the cockpit thing. But I was kind of keeping my ear out. Like, I was also, the whole scene, I was like constantly scanning to see if I could see the ghost any other times. That was the only time I spotted it was in that shot. Might be the only time it's in there, I'm not sure. But I was kind of keeping my ear open to hear if I could hear perhaps Hera from Rebels. She's the pilot of that ship. So I was kind of hoping like they might have gotten the actors to just record a couple lines that they would play during that space battle, but they didn't do that, sadly. No Admiral Akbar, but there was like an Admiral, what was his name? Admiral
Fish face.
Radis. He's Mon Calamari, like
Calamari.
it's Mon Calamari is the species.
No, my calamari.
Okay. Get your own calamari.
That's a trap.
Yeah. There's so much. Oh, C-3PO and R2-D2 have a nice little cameo in there.
Yeah.
Not where I expected it either. I expected it to be right at the end. But it was kind of right before the big climax and everything. They're like, oh, they're going to Scarif. No one tells me anything.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. It's a great movie. It's a great movie that's not without its flaws.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, that scene with Vader, like it's so well done because like they're trying to escape with the plans. Because like, it ends. All of our heroes are dead, and then it cuts to like the people on the ship
right
in space. They take they had taken out the two Star Destroyers crashing into each other.
Yeah, that was
awesome.
Yeah,
that was cool, and that takes out the shield, which is what allows Jyn to get the signal up to the ship, and then that ship has a smaller ship that leads from it, and Vader gets on that ship, and he just like there's that scene where all these guards are standing up, and it's like the opening scene of A New Hope, where all the rebel guards are like guarding that hallway. But it's dark, and it just in the out of the black you just see the lightsaber light up. I was like, that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
And then it's a quick scene. It's not too long, but it's just enough.
Yeah.
It was just enough. They didn't go too heavy-handed with it. But he was like forced, like throwing people to the ceiling, smashing around. And I just love that they could only get the door open just that little bit. And he's like screaming, like trying to get him to open it, and he just hands it through there, and they get away.
Yeah,
like, so well done. Because that's what I want to see Vader. I want to see him scary and tearing fools up with that lightsaber. Okay, well we did our rating on our review, but let's go ahead and do those again. Your rating was
I might drop it to a 7.5.
Really?
Yeah. Just for the middle part where I got a little confused and just kind of bored.
Yeah.
Like, the ending was great,
yeah.
And the beginning was a good start, but, like, the middle, I was like, eh.
Yeah.
I'm going to take off half a Millennium Falcon.
Okay, yeah, you did. And I'm still sticking with my rating was 8.5 Kyber crystals out of 10.
Nerd.
Kyber crystals. So it powers the
Alright,
lightsaber,
okay.
and it also powers the Death
Thank
Star.
you for tuning in this week for...
She has around her neck that her mother gives her.
Oh, Jesus.
I do think I might, I like the movie, but I think I might grow to love it even more upon seeing it more.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you think it holds up against like The Force Awakens?
I like The Force Awakens a lot better.
You do?
Yeah.
I'm kind of torn. Like I was actually watching The Force Awakens last night, and watching it, I'm like, people always complain, this is just A New Hope. But like just watching the first 20 minutes of like, there's so much
Mm-hmm.
So much like new stuff and everything, new exciting things and story thing. Like, yeah, maybe structurally it's similar,
Mm-hmm.
but there's so much like cool new stuff going on in
Mm-hmm.
those movies that I appreciate. And this one I liked a lot because it wasn't as familiar. I mean,
Yeah.
it was the most familiar in some ways, and then completely different in other ways. But anyway, I'm kind of neck and neck on those. I can't decide which I like more, but I think I'm probably gonna grow to like this movie even more on more viewings.
Okay.
Well, I think we covered everything.
I think that about does it.
That about does it. All right. If you like this episode, click like on YouTube and subscribe to our channel for more movie reviews and podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Follow us on Twitter. I'm at Jeff_Grants.
I'm at Steven Tukert.
Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Even if you don't use iTunes, giving us subscribing or leaving a review on there, that these things really help us out. Helps get the word of the podcast out there. Helps more people find it. And go to theamazingnerdiverse.com for all of your Amazing Nerdiverse needs. And until next time, I'm Jeff Grants.
I'm Steven Tukert.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you're Frank Spaceman.
Oh, well, Frank Spaceman will return next week.
Like at the end credits, it's like Frank Spaceman will return in Rogue 2,
Yeah.
a Frank Spaceman story.
Nice.
All right, until next time, we'll see you right here in the Amazing Nerdiverse.